Hey there, and welcome to a moment of empowerment. I am Evylyn Rose, and I am giving you this brief video overview to help you with your spiritual health and well-being in whatever little way that we can today. If you've not already, please make sure that you watch the introduction video for this series. It gives you a lot more on the background of who I am, what this video series is about, as well as why I'm doing it. Okay, so today's topic, we are covering Tarot Truths Revealed, the 8 myths you can finally ditch. Whenever anybody is seeking to learn more about tarot, whether they are curious about it as something that they want to explore themselves, or perhaps they are just interested in overcoming some different fears, some misconceptions. Maybe they have a friend or a relative who does tarot, and they're just trying to understand more about it. Um, Without being scared based on what they see in media and movies and from the various different stereotypes that exist out there. So with all that said, let's get into it. So first up, myth number 1, you have to be psychic to learn tarot. Reality is, no, you don't. Okay, so tarot is just a spiritual tool. It's accessible to anyone and everyone. Ideally, it's a visual tool, although there are tarot decks out there where it's written words. So it doesn't necessarily have to be limited to only those with uh, visual abilities. If you have any disabilities in that regard, tarot is still accessible. It's meant as a spiritual tool. It is not meant to be something where you have to have a psychic gift already inherently active in order to learn tarot. Okay. Myth number 2, every card has just one fixed meaning. In reality, every card has various meanings. So in tarot, I've talked about this before, that each card represents a different archetype or universal theme that's universal specifically to humans. And so each card inherently covers a wide variety of different meanings. It can get very complex very quickly, which is why it takes years to successfully learn how to read the tarot properly. All right, myth number 3, tarot contains good cards and bad cards. Again, there's so many different meanings in every card. It contains all possibilities. So whether it's considered as good or bad, positive or negative, nice, easy, flowy, or strong, complex, scary. All of that just depends on the context of the question, the reading, where it is within a spread. So there are so many different meanings to tarot that you cannot just label them as good or bad. Okay, myth number 4, we're halfway there. Reverse cards are always negative. Again, no. So I personally do not read reversals, although many readers do. Ideally, reverse cards can mean that the energy is challenged in some way. It can kind of seem like the opposite of a non-reverse card, but they're not necessarily going to be read in that way. So this is why I say that the reality is the interpretation of a reverse card varies greatly. Number 5, tarot decks are inherently evil. This one always makes me laugh. I get this question a lot from people who just have general fears surrounding tarot because that is what they were taught. Truth is that tarot is just cardstock and ink. To label it as evil puts of a lot of pressure, I would say, on that cardstock and ink. So no. That myth is actually what we consider a scare tactic. So this is something where we want to say that something is evil just on the basis of it so that people stay away from it. So people, whether because out of fear itself or fear that people will see you or perceive you as evil for even just exploring it. And so that is why you will hear some of this myth go around. It makes great fuel for Hollywood movies and fictional stories. However, tarot decks are not inherently evil. Okay, number 6, you must shuffle a tarot deck a specific way. Again, no you don't. Okay, I'm a riffle shuffler out of habit. I tend to hate the decks where you can't riffle shuffle it. in which case you learn to shuffle a different way that works for that particular deck. So whatever makes the most sense for you, your preferences, the cards in front of you, what kind of card stock it is, how thick it is, the size of those cards, the size of your hands, whatever makes the most sense and feels the most comfortable and intuitive for you is how you shuffle those decks. Okay, number 7, there's special rituals you have to do before each reading. Again, no. So while many readers will have different rituals, have different perhaps prayers, maybe they light candles, maybe they have certain stones or jewelry that they wear while they're doing readings, these are just preferences. They are not requirements. As such, every reader you ask will likely explain what to do a little differently than the others. And finally, number 8, you must be gifted your first deck to become a tarot reader. The first time I'd heard this, I'd already been reading tarot cards for over a decade. Having bought my first deck as a teenager, I kind of looked at it like, are you sure? Is this true? And the truth is, no, it's not. This would be a form of gatekeeping. I imagine this would be scammers trying to find a way to delegitimize actual authentic readers so that they couldn't get called out on their scamming. Uh, I don't know that that's the actual origin, but that is my suspicions. So the truth is, the reality behind this myth is that however tarot comes into your life is just fine. Anyone can learn it. It's a skill you develop, just like any other complex skill that's out there. So there are no rules as far as how to get started. All right. If you have enjoyed this little bit of myth busting with me, there is a blog article specifically addressing all 8 of these myths, and it's called Tarot Truths Revealed, 7 Myths You Can Finally Ditch. You can also take my free Tarot 101 mini course. This was designed for seekers and skeptics alike, and I cover many of the different myths and different attitudes and stereotypes that are associated with tarot and learning tarot. You can also, if you have any questions about any of these myths or others that I did not cover in this video, you can always join me in my weekly live stream on Mondays at 1 p.m. called the Lunar Lunch Break. And if you haven't already, please consider signing up for my newsletter. It is a monthly newsletter because I will not barrage your inbox with tons of emails, called the Starlight Circle. Okay, my moonbeams receive exclusive content and more, so please subscribe to that if you want to learn more about tarot and other esoteric topics. And of course, all the links to these are in the show notes below. All right, thank you so much for joining me in this moment of empowerment. I hope that it helped you in some small way. If it did, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe below. Doing so helps others find their way here. It also helps train that algorithm to help you see more of what you like and need more of in your life. So thank you, and please keep radiating hope into the world.